Hello and welcome to the Man Games. This is another podcast episode, so it is the Man
and the Wife
podcast. Today we are reviewing Backlash 2009. It was on April 26, 2009, obviously, from Providence, Rhode Island. The venue was Dunkin' Donuts. The attendance was 8,357 and the buy rate was 182,000. So this was the pay-per-view after WrestleMania 25.
Okay, it started with the first match of Christian versus Jack Swagger for the ECW Championship. Now I believe it was Christian's first singles pay-per-view match in 5 years in the WWE. Obviously he'd been at TNA during that time. So I'd like to point out before I start, go back. I only actually watched this match for the first time of the day. Oh, not this match, this pay-per-view for the first time of the day. I wasn't watching WWE back in 2009. So it was a good pay-per-view though. I really enjoyed it. This match I thought was a good opening match.
Well, when I saw the card of the match card, I thought, looking at the card, I thought, I do remember this pay-per-view. I think Jericho and Ricky Steamboat was probably my favourite match on the card. I think actually Christian Jack Swagger, looking back now, is my favourite match on the card.
When you say that, also my favourite match on the card.
Yeah. So we watched this together, but in silence. It's probably the first time ever we watched a pay-per-view in silence together. So yeah, I would say this was actually my favourite match of the night. The opening match, Christian was some very stiff slaps to Jack Swagger. Swagger press slammed Christian over the top rope onto the floor, and that was a good spot. Have you any notes before we get to the finish of the match?
No, I was just gonna say there were lots of near falls. There was a sunset flip from Christian. That was a good spot as well.
Another thing I'd say, this match made me realise how much I miss seeing Christian on wrestling. He's just so good. He's just so smooth. He was so underrated in WWE, I think. And also, I think Jack Swagger looked really good in this match as well. He didn't have the best run in WWE, but I felt like this match, Christian did make him look really good.
Yeah. They both look great. I think there's one negative that I have to put out there, and it was you could see them communicating on your part of the match.
I did realise that a few times.
But other than that, minor thing. But other than that, I thought, really good.
Jack Swagger was pretty green still. He was still learning. So
yeah, no, I know. That I'd say I'm not saying it was a bad match or something like that. I'd have to say that was the only negative.
Sorry.
But really enjoyed it. You talk over me. Go for it.
So getting to the end of the match, Jack Swagger was trying to take the turnbuckle off one of the turnbuckle pads, obviously. So yeah, the referee saw Swagger doing it, so obviously he was putting him back on. Then in the other corner, Christian did exactly the same. So Swagger hits the turnbuckle and Christian hits the kill switch. New ECW champion.
Yeah, really happy about that. Obviously, as I said, I wasn't watching WWE at the time, so I don't really know the full storyline going into it. But I was happy to see Jack. I was happy to see Christian come out the winner and be the new ECW champ. I don't think that did anything to harm Jack Swagger. I still think
I think he looked really good in the match. But going back a month, WrestleMania 25, Christian was in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I kind of think he should have won that and not CM Punk.
Because it was CM Punk's
second year. It sure was. So that was CM Punk winning it the second year in a row. But I remember, at the time, I really wanted Christian to win it, as he just returned to the WWE. I'm sure I can remember when every time he got on the ladder, the fans were more cheering for Christian than any other superstar. But he stayed on ECW and became ECW champion. This was the big silver belt. What an almighty size belt that was. What do you think of the ECW championship belt? It's more attractive than the original, but that I don't think it was meant to be an attractive belt. The original ECW belt is meant to be like a a rugged, hardcore kind of championship.
Well, it's not the worst belt. The Big Silver wasn't the worst belt I've seen.
Yeah. Oh, and I can tell you're dying to say which belt you don't like.
The women's one.
Yeah.
AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. But after this match, it went to a backstage segment. You see Christian coming on.
Actually, you skipped past the match, really. Because it went to an advert for the Best of the 90s DVD after that.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a DVD I own. I'm not sure if it's on the network or not, but it looks obviously the best superstars of the 90s. In that is The Undertaker, The Rock, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, Sting, Owen Hart, Yokozuna, Scott Hall, Lex Luger, Kevin Nash. That's just a few off the top of my head. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, make sure you go and watch it because it is probably when wrestling was most popular at the end of the 90s. So sorry, you go back to your...
That is fine. So after the advert, there was a backstage segment. It's Christian coming back. He's celebrating his win, and then Edge comes into view. Christian is accusing Edge of being, quote this, a bitter, raving lunatic. And why is that? That used to have lots of fun together. And Edge cracks back saying he blames Cena. It's all Cena's fault. He can't possibly...
He says Cena's ruined his life. That's what he says.
Yeah, Cena's ruined his life.
He's turned him into a lunatic.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously building for the main event.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So the next match on the card was Chris Jericho versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Now, you might be thinking, why is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat wrestling in 2009? Well, at WrestleMania, Chris Jericho fought against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Jimmy Snuka, and Rowdy Piper in a handicap match. Jericho was making his way through the legends, beating them up. Because the film The Wrestler had just been released, starring Mickey Rourke, and Jericho was saying wrestling isn't about old has-beens, and Jericho said it's more about, the current stars of wrestling. WrestleMania 25, Mickey Rourke actually punched Jericho in the face. But we are not here to talk about WrestleMania 25. We are here to talk about Backlash 2009. So yeah, I think this is Ricky's third match. He wrestled at Mania, then he wrestled the night after Mania, and then he wrestled this match. I think a lot of people were surprised how good Ricky Steamboat still was. I know I was.
Yeah, there was a lot of useful got chance, wasn't there?
Yeah. Was this the first time you've seen Ricky the Dragon Steamboat wrestle?
Yes.
Is it the first time you've ever seen him?
I feel like you're looking at your face, I should be saying no.
I don't know.
Alright, I don't know. I think it's the first time I've seen him, but I thought you were about to tell me that, I met him
no.
and I'd forgotten.
No. But like I said before, when I saw the match card, I thought this was going to be my favourite match of the card, but no, it was definitely the Christian match.
Yeah, I think, Ricky, how old do you think he would have been then?
I don't know, but they do say on commentary that the last time Ricky had a singles match was 15 years ago at pay-per-view, where he fought Stone Cold Steve. Well, he wasn't Stone Cold Steve Austin then; he was just Steve Austin in WCW for the United States Championship. So
okay, so obviously 15 years since he's been in the ring, and he took some pretty hard spots. Jericho drop kicked him from the second rope while he was on the apron and took a pretty hard fall there. So that was really good. There was a bit of fumbling, I was going to say, in Ricky gets out of the Walls of Jericho and he tries to put on a figure four.
Oh yeah,
very fumbly. It almost
very
looks
terrible.
Like he forgot what to do there, and that was a bit.
Well, I don't think he actually did that move himself. It's probably more of a callback to Ric Flair. Paying respect to Ric Flair, because obviously. Steamboat is probably most known for his matches with Ric Flair and his match at WrestleMania 3 against the Macho Man Randy Savage for the IC title.
Your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, like I said, I thought this would be my match of the card, but it was still good. It's probably still in the conversation for maybe second or third, I'd say. So I'm not 100% sure about this, but I know Chris Jericho was a massive Ricky Steamboat fan as a child. He might be his favourite wrestler of all time. I'm not actually sure. So you'd think Chris Jericho would be really happy to have a single, not in storyline, obviously in real life. You'd think Jericho would be really pleased to have a pay-per-view match with Ricky Steamboat. I remember he said in an interview that he wanted to be IC champion because that's the belt that Ricky Steamboat had. But yeah, going back to the actual match, Ricky hit a crossbody off the top rope. Jericho hits him with a code breaker in midair, which I thought was really good. And then, he unfortunately taps out to the walls of Jericho.
So yeah, overall good match. Obviously, I was going to say, I thought an okay match, but I can understand that there's for wrestling fans watching Ricky come back with more about the Gloucester than the actual match itself. But yeah, not bad.
Yeah, the crowd did pay a lot of respect to Ricky at the end of the match, standing on the feet, which is a very nice thing to do because he has earned a lot of people's respect. Coming back and having a match with Chris Jericho at that time of his life was probably a big deal for him. And other than not putting on a figure 4 a lot properly, I think he did a good job.
Yep, absolutely.
So next was a backstage segment involving Santino Marella, Beth Phoenix, and Rosa Mendez. So WrestleMania 25, Santina Marella's sister, won the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. It wasn't really a great match, really, to be fair, because they started the match with everyone in the ring, so it's hard to know even who was in the ring. I think Tori Wilson was in there, but I didn't even realise until she'd been eliminated, and someone said, "Oh, Tori Wilson's been eliminated." I was like, "Well, I didn't know she was there." But back to this segment, Beth Phoenix wants the WrestleMania the crown off Santino, but he says it's his sister's pretty much. And then she breaks up with him, I think, pretty much.
Well, yeah, she said she won't kiss him anymore.
Yeah, she said she won't kiss him anymore. But then he turns around and tells her he fix it in bed, pretty much.
I mean, I love Santino.
Yeah, Santino's funny.
And as a character.
Beth's a good actor.
Don't quite get this storyline.
Well, obviously they were in a relationship on screen.
Yeah, no, I know. I just.
And Beth felt like he took her WrestleMania moment. But I could have done without the segment, really. Yeah, I would have rather. And instead of doing this, they could have done something more respectful to Ricky Steamboat at the end of their match, maybe. Have a lot of wrestlers come out stage and applaud him for his, for his hard work in the match. But,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, a bit of a good segment there. So next up on the match, it was Kane versus CM Punk. Now, if someone had told me that they were feuding after WrestleMania 25, I probably would have said, nah, I don't remember them feuding at this time. I was surprised that this match was even on the card, and it was based around CM Punk winning the Bank briefcase. Yeah, to be honest, I kind of just thought this was a match you could have seen on Raw in 2009, really.
Yeah, I agree. I felt this match didn't really do much. It sort of was on one level, didn't really get invested. Yeah, it was.
Well, there wasn't a great storyline coming in. The storyline was that Kane wished he could have won the Money in the Bank briefcase, I think.
Yeah, well, that obviously kind of came through really with the match then. That there wasn't a storyline because it just sort of seemed a bit meh.
Yeah, but Kane hits a sliding drop kick onto Punk and he went into the ring post. That was a decent spot. Punk reversed the chokeslam into a DDT. Yeah, that was okay. Then towards the end of the match, Punk was just kicking Kane, and then Kane gives him a pretty stiff chokeslam and wins. And in my notes it says surprised, because I was actually surprised. I thought, obviously they've let Kane get the win because CM Punk's got the briefcase, so he's for podcast listeners, air quotations, he's protected by the briefcase. But yeah, I would have had CM Punk win. I can't remember where Kane went from here. I don't really think Kane needed the win. I think it would have helped CM Punk's momentum after WrestleMania if he'd have picked up the win over Kane, and I did think that chokeslam pretty much sucked for Punk. It was very stiff, I thought.
Yeah, it just wasn't.
That's not a knock on Kane because I really like both of the guys. I don't know. This match didn't really do a lot for me, really. I feel like probably after seeing the Santino segment, I feel like this card started to slowly dwindle down a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, definitely. It unfortunately at the high at the beginning.
Yeah. The best two matches first on, probably, in my opinion. Another thing I want to say is just saying that it's a bit like a Raw match. Like some Raw matches are just forgettable. I felt like this match in a way. Whereas now we've got AEW on TV, I feel like they have rememberable matches every week, if not every other week. It's not even been on a promotion that long, and I could tell you probably 10 matches off the top of my head, whereas if you asked me to name 10 matches off Raw in the past 2 years, I probably couldn't do it. Becky Lynch is my favourite wrestler on wrestling at the moment, and I couldn't even tell you the last match she had on Raw before she, left because of a pregnancy.
It's not a good sign, is it?
Yeah, it's just not a good sign, really. But I don't know, they kind of don't seem to care as much in a way. The last big match I remember on Raw, I think, was Punk and Cena, and the winner was going to Mania to fight The Rock because Punk was trying to take Cena's place. So obviously Cena won the Royal Rumble, but then Punk said he deserved to be at the main event at WrestleMania.
Oh, how many years ago was that then?
Oh, it was a long time ago. Yeah. Because CM Punk delivered the pile driver on John Cena, and it's a banned move. So I remember that they weren't very happy about that backstage.
Yeah. So, right, we're getting back to this pay-per-view though. Very good at getting off topic. After the CM Punk and Kane match, we had a video package for the next match, which was Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. It was an I Quit match. The video package was based around sort of like their sibling rivalry.
Yes, so the story was basically that Matt was jealous of Jeff. So at the Royal Rumble, Matt had cost Jeff Hardy the championship, which makes no sense in one sense because he cost the match for Jeff so Edge, his bitter rivalry, could win the title, which doesn't really make a lot of sense if you're thinking like long term, or if you actually have a memory, which WWE don't like us to have sometimes. We'll come back to that later. So yeah, Matt cost Jeff the championship at the Royal Rumble, and then they kind of make out in storyline that Matt had something to do with Jeff's house burning down and his dog dying, and at one point the stage fireworks blow up on Jeff, and then that all leads to a match at WrestleMania 25 where Matt won. So then also, before this pay-per-view, they had a stretcher match on SmackDown, which was also a really good match. I remember Jeff doing a swanton onto the stretcher, but he actually landed on the stretcher. That was pretty cool. So yeah, Jeff Hardy making his way to the ring, no face paint on, which surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, what's the point of that?
Well, he just does it when he decides. That's what kind of annoys me. It's a bit like, he should have a reason for when he, Finn Balor only becomes a demon when he has a reason to become the demon.
Right, okay.
Whereas Jeff just puts the face paint on whenever he feels like it. He should put it on, for a reason.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The face paint should make him a badder guy or more of a daredevil or...
Yeah, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay. I agree. I completely agree, actually. I was wondering if he did have face paint on. Yeah, beginning of the match...
sorry to cut you off. But also, so Matt Hardy turns heel. I kind of think they should have changed his entrance music. Because all the way coming to the ring, I was just singing his entrance music. And I was thinking, surely you should have a bad entrance music. Not one that... I know Jericho's Judas and everyone wants to sing with that. But I don't know, this was a different time as well. This was... I don't know, I feel like they could have changed his music.
You started singing Judas when... what's his name?
Sammy Guevara.
When he started singing
Yeah.
it. That's why you got you into that. I think that's what got everybody into it. Watching him do it,
Maybe.
it's just infectious.
But yeah, that's just maybe like a little nitpick, really. So yeah, get into the actual match. So Matt Hardy puts Jeff Hardy into a figure 4 leg lock. So maybe that was just to show Ricky Steamboat how it was done, maybe.
Maybe, because Matt just work over Jeff's leg a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, why do you think that was?
This
is a high flyer, maybe?
Oh, yeah. He's a high flyer.
Yeah. So Jeff Hardy hits a really nice whisper in the wind on Matt with because sometimes he does it and hardly hits him. So I really like this one. It did make full contact and it did look good. Also, Jeff puts Matt into a Texas Cloverleaf, which used to be Dean Malenko's finishing move. But what annoyed me a bit actually here was that Matt starts tapping, but they say, well, it's an I quit match, you can't tap out. Well, surely him tapping out is him quitting. That's the whole point.
That's true.
So yeah, I didn't really like that spot, really.
I know that Jeff hit 2 nice swan bombs.
Yeah, in a row.
That was really good. But then he ends up getting some tables out. That didn't work.
And he hits a twist of fate on the outside as well.
Yep. Coming towards the end of the match. So Jeff gets the tables out puts it into the ring. He ends up getting some tape and he tapes Matt's legs and arms together.
Yeah, first as well.
Yeah.
Surely he could have just rolled off the table.
That is very true. But he decided to stay there and be taped.
Yeah.
And then he gets the rope out and he starts tying him to the table as well with some rope. Bit of a, I find this a bit strange, but fair play. Then Jeff gets out a ladder and puts a ladder in the ring as well and starts climbing it. After some begging and some grovelling. And also,
well, he was just kind of saying, "Oh, Jeff, I love you, and what would Mum think in heaven? And our dad's poorly. You shouldn't do this to him." And
he ends up quitting. He ends up quitting before Jeff gets to jump off, which is I found a bit disappointing. But luckily, Jeff didn't disappoint, and he jumps off the ladder anyway onto Matt, even after he has quit.
Yeah, I was surprised that actually looking back now, how much this match actually focused on in-ring wrestling. You think of Matt and Jeff having an I Quit match and you think it'd be more of a spot fest.
I thought that. I actually put that it started off really strong, the match, and there was a lot of good strong in-ring wrestling, which I know they always start off with, before they then go into sort of the hardcore stuff and and the spot fest and the tables and the ladders and all that. But I was slightly disappointed that it didn't sort of make it to that level.
Yeah.
And I also, other than the finish, but other than that, I felt like there wasn't that, which for me, I know that that's what Jeff and Matt Hardy are known for.
Yeah, well, at WrestleMania, they'd had, I'm not sure, I can't remember if it was a hardcore match or Extreme Rules match or how they build it. And then obviously the stretcher match on SmackDown. So maybe they thought, well, this is our last match. We can show people we can actually wrestle. But yeah, I don't know. I can't. When you say Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, I Quit match, I kind of thought a bit more.
A bit more hardcore.
Yeah. It's like this match could have gone longer as well, I feel like. I feel like they could have definitely taken 10 or 5 minutes off the Legacy match later on in the card and give that to these guys, personally. But I think they could have started off with, like the actual wrestling they did, but then do more extreme spots later on.
Yeah. How long was this match, do you know?
Yeah, this match between Jeff and Matt Hardy was 19 minutes. Didn't feel like 90 minutes, I didn't think. No. So, just to recap, the Christian vs. Jack Swagger match was 11 minutes and 1 second. Chris Jericho vs. Ricky Steamboat was 12 minutes and 32 seconds. Kane and CM Punk, which felt like the longer match, was only 9 minutes and 25 seconds. And once again, this was 19 and 8 seconds.
Wow.
So I feel like that if they had 5 more minutes to do some more, spots, it would have been a bit better for me personally. So yeah, that was Jeff Hardy getting the win over Matt. Also, guys, please like this video if you enjoy what you hear. Drop us a comment, let us know what you thought. Do you agree with our opinions of this show? And also, please subscribe to the channel. It is the best way of supporting the Man Games. The more subscribers we get, the better content we can put out. So yeah, if you want better content, please subscribe to us. It does really help the channel. Also, check out the Fun with Figures episode. So it's me looking back at some of the figures from the past, well, and present, come to think of that. And new episodes go up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And there is now on the channel me watching along the best of Brody Lee from CZW. So that was the DVD that came in last month's WrestleCrate unboxing, which you can watch on the channel also. So every week it is a different episode of me watching an episode, my first time reactions. So yeah, make sure you check them out on a Saturday. Obviously this podcast goes up every Sunday, unless there is a pay-per-view, which we try and get that out, the review of that out every Monday, starting soon. And also the 2K20 content out on the channel. Check that out also. So on a Monday we have the Raw Universe mode, Tuesday we have the SmackDown Universe mode, Wednesday NXT, Thursday AEW, Friday WCW. Now there is also pay-per-views, but they just go up as and when they're ready. Also on the channel there is all the Mandy Rose and Otis videos from 2K20. They're probably the most popular 2K20 content on the channel, so make sure you check that out also. So next up there was a Legacy promo backstage. Not really a lot to say about this.
I literally have a backstage segment.
Yeah, I have Legacy promo, not a lot to say written down. Just basically saying that Batista's still Triple H's lackey after all these years. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Which is annoying in a way because Cody and Ted DiBiase were there as well. And you'd have thought to get the younger talent over, they could have maybe had, be in the segment more instead of just in the background. But
yeah, I couldn't believe just how good Cody Rhodes looked. Like, he just physicality, like he was just really.
And he's young now as well.
I know. I just thought he just looked in really good shape.
So yeah, moving on. Next came probably the lowest part of the night. It was so the Great Khali comes out for the kiss cam, but he wants Santina to come down and kiss him.
Is that because she won?
Yeah, he won. Yeah, which is really weird. And yeah, looking back now in 2020 at this, it looks like Khali looks like some kind of like sex offender, maybe.
I don't think it's that. I just think it just doesn't make any sense. And what really annoyed me is I'm guessing that Great Khali isn't fluent in English.
No.
Is that true?
That's why Ranjan Singh does all the.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why in Longest Yard they have subtitles on the screen for when he's in the film.
Well, okay, that's fine. But the way that they portrayed it with the is
Ranjan Singh.
Yeah, with the translator. The translator doesn't actually speak to Great Khali and then get an answer off him. It's obviously I know it's scripted anyway, but it's so scripted that they don't allow any sort of communication to show that he's saying this and he's replying. It's just like this guy's got his.
Because we don't want to give more time to this segment. That's why. That should be why anyway.
Well, yeah, I suppose it just that annoyed me. But anyway, let's go back to the segment.
The best part about this segment was when Santina walks to the ring and Jerry the King Lawler says. She's been on that many blind dates. She got a free dog. That is the only part that I laughed in this segment, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Khali wants to kiss Santina, but she says that she's in love with another man, and that is JR, and she's his little slobber knocker. JR doesn't find any of this amusing.
No, she calls Mr. Barbecue Man.
Mr. Barbecue Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Cole thinks it's very funny, saying all sorts of crap that JR doesn't approve of. He even says, who's fed you that line? Obviously meaning McMahon, probably. So yeah, then Beth comes down to challenge Santina for the crown. And then, I can't even remember why, but Khali taps her on the head and she falls over. And then
she's calling him stupid for not realising that Santino is a
Santino.
Okay. Yeah, that's why. And then taps on the head.
Yeah, pretty much taps on the head. Not that I'd like him to actually hit her, but like
And then Santina comes in for the pin and wins, and that's it.
Well, yeah, and then Callie still wants a kiss, doesn't he? Because she won't go and kiss JR because she feels like she's getting faint.
Yeah, I just.
And then Callie rips her top off and she screams as her breasts are on display to the crowd.
My question was, very bizarre segment, very bizarre storyline.
Darling, if you say we can't get these moments back in our life, I understand.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, was it, I personally didn't get it, but was it over back in 2009? Was it something that was actually over?
The Santina was a bit over. It was kind of funny, but this, maybe it's just me looking, maybe back then, maybe I would have liked it, I don't know. Okay. I was never really a fan of the Great Khali kiss cam. He used to come down and make out with.
Oh, so that happened a lot?
It happened a few times, yeah. He would normally make out with bigger built women in the ring. Yeah, that's what I remember of it anyway. But the Khali shouldn't be in this kind of spot anyway. You know, look at the size of him. He should have been how he came in, you know, a monster. But obviously he can't wrestle, so they gave him this. It's just like they got him because of his size and because he was from India and, you know, global media and stuff. But yeah, just he couldn't wrestle. He was too stiff.
He was impressive to look at, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's impressive to look at. I mean, if someone says to me, "What's your favourite Great Khali match?" and it's like no idea. Like he had a match with Cena in the Last Man Standing match. Can't sure. I think Cena aired him off a crane, maybe. Yeah, he's had a few Punjab in prison matches, but yeah, couldn't. Yeah, so maybe he's had some memorable moments, but not an actual memorable match.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So now we're moving on to it is a 6-man tag for the WWE Championship. If Triple H or any member of his team has gotten disqualified, counted out, pinned or submitted, Randy Orton would win the championship. Forgot this was actually the stipulation of the match. I thought it was just a 6-man tag at first. So they went 22 minutes and 50 seconds. Probably 10 minutes too long in my opinion.
I felt like it was longer than that, to be honest.
Yeah. So Cena, no, sorry, not Cena. So Batista came back the night after WrestleMania to help Triple H against Randy Orton in their feud. So Batista had been out with an injury. The storyline injury was that Randy Orton had punted him in the skull and he was out. So I can't understand why Batista kind of started the match and got worked over for so long in the ring.
Well, you forgot to mention that actually Orton does speed up Triple H before the match even begins.
Oh, right, yes, sorry.
And Triple H chases Orton up the ramp and Orton disappears for a substantial amount of the match, which doesn't make sense because clearly he wants to win the belt, and not being present and making it 2 against 3 doesn't really ring true for me. Why would you want that? But anyway, that's what happened. But yeah, go back. So we're saying that.
So yeah, Batista gets worked over for a lot, and then he finally tags in Shane. Then Shane jumps around the ring a bit like a bit of a lunatic. And then he just gets worked over until Triple H comes in.
And then there was a lot of sort of cheap shots behind the referee's back on the Legacy's behalf. You know, there was a lot of cheating on what they were doing. Obviously behind the referee's back.
At one point on the outside, so Cody hits Shane with a chair. And they're saying the referee didn't see it. The referee was definitely looking in their direction, which kind of annoyed me a little bit. So then Batista goes to use a chair, but Triple H stops him. And then this is like the really worst part of the night in a way, because Randy Orton hits the RKO for only a 2 count, and the ring bell guy or the timekeeper or whatever they're called rings the bell. It was only a 2 count. I'm not sure, was that meant to happen or?
No, I don't think that was.
I don't think it was meant to happen, but it kind of took away the ending of the match.
Which was actually after the 2 count, Randy Orton punts Triple H in the head, but for then getting the 3 count, which I think was supposed to be like the big moment, but it definitely wasn't.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that took away Randy Orton's like thunder in a way.
Yeah.
Like I think people are more talking about the screw up than the actual finish of the match.
If you look around the crowd, everyone just looks very, very confused.
Yeah.
Especially, I think Orton and that, they leave they
leave so quickly as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And also in this match as well, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit bored watching this match. And you could also tell that some of the fans were, because when the hard cam was zooming out of the ring, you could see the fans trying to like wave at themselves on the camera. And
I thought
that's pretty bad. So at the end of the match, Triple H is selling his punt to score. There's stretchers out there, and yeah, that's it really. And then we come to the main event. It is a last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. So
Cena versus Edge.
Yes, Cena versus Edge. So there is a recap of this feud between Cena and Edge. It's just showing the match. So I think this is billed as the last time Cena and Edge are going to face each other. Obviously, Cena had won the World Championship at WrestleMania 25 in a triple threat match. It was him, The Big Show, and Edge. So I'm not actually a fan of John Cena with this title belt, to be honest. I don't think that belt really suited him, personally. Like how some belts suit certain wrestlers and others don't.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't think this belt really suited.
When I think of Cena, I think of the
spinner belt.
Yeah. And the United States Championship.
Yeah.
That's it. Has he ever won the Intercontinental?
No.
So I can't picture him with it then.
He has won the tag team championships before.
Yes, so I didn't know.
Do you know who with? I think you were going to say The Rock then. It definitely wasn't The Rock.
It wasn't The Rock. It was somebody weird. It was like a throw together.
Yeah, he's won it twice. He's won them twice actually. I think.
Yeah, there's definitely twice with 2 different people, but I can't think who they are.
Well, I know that. So one's David Otunga.
I never guessed that really.
Yeah, well, that's when the Nexus gimmick was going on.
Okay.
So I believe he won them and lost them in the same night. So he won the titles with Otunga, and then they lost them to the other 2 members of the Nexus, Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel.
Okay.
And then the other time was he and Shawn Michaels won the tag team championships. Can't remember. Oh, and actually, no, I'm very wrong. Actually, I've just pulled up Wikipedia, and he won them with David Otunga, like I said. Shawn Michaels, he's won them with The Miz. I think that was when they were feuding before WrestleMania 27. And he's also won them with Batista. I don't remember them being tag team champions in Batista. I want to say it's around their match at SummerSlam. Was that 2006?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't. Must have been 2008. Yeah, I want to say 2008. SummerSlam 2008, I think. It must have been around that time. I think it was when Mike Adamle was the Raw general manager, but you don't have a clue what I'm talking about now.
Nope.
So maybe I'm just rambling.
Shall we go back to the match then?
Yeah, we'll go back to the match.
At the beginning of the match, Edge dominates a lot. They end up on the outside of the ring. I'm not quite sure what happened to get them on the outside of the ring, if I'm honest. And they're doing a bit of work at the outside. And then Cena eventually awkwardly throws his steps into the ring.
Yeah, he was. You could see he thought about throwing it once and thought, no, I'm not going to get that. So he tries again and then still struggles.
But then in the end, so he gets steps into the ring, but then Edge uses them against him, gets Cena in the corner, and he does just runs at the steps and practically knocks Cena out.
Also, at one point, Edge goes to do the "You Can't See Me" to Cena. He reverses it into an STF, which is the worst move that John Cena does. You probably heard me say this a few times on the podcast, but you can just tell he's applying no pressure, and it really annoys me. Because he's done it so much as well. You think someone would tell him, "You don't do it right. Do it better." I know a lot of people say John Cena's matches are like 5 moves of doom. It's like, well, if you've only got 5 moves and you can't do one of them right, it's a bit pants. But I do really like John Cena. I've liked a lot of his matches. That's probably the main nitpick about his matches as well. Well, that and he lets lots of people kick out of his air.
But you do like John Cena.
No, I do. It's just when he did his John Cena US Open challenge, I feel like a lot of people were kicking out of his air, and it kind of took away the devastationness of his move, if that is a word. But sorry, I feel like you really want to talk, and I keep on talking.
You keep going, it's fine.
But I feel like Cody Rhodes does a bit of that in AEW as well. A lot of people kick out of his.
Do you think they're just trying to let the younger lads get over?
Oh no, I get that, but I think your finishing move needs to be a finishing move, not like a kick out spot. In my opinion, I feel like a finishing move should be a finishing move. If someone's kicking out of your finishing move, it shouldn't be on an episode of Raw or SmackDown or even Dynamite. It should be at WrestleMania or SummerSlam or where it's going to mean more.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Right, going back to the match. So there was actually one point where Edge was on the outside of the ring, and Cena just picks up the steps and throws him onto Edge, and that looked pretty devastating. He actually took Edge 8 the neck count before he got up, and then
I did actually keep forgetting when they were doing the wrestling in the actual ring. I did keep forgetting this was actually a last man standing match until later on.
Yeah. Well, definitely just pick up later on. Cena goes to jump off the top rope and Edge spears in midair. That was a good spot. And then another one that I really enjoyed was Cena gets up on the announcers table and throws an AA, but does an AA throwing Edge into the crowd.
Yeah, that probably was the spot of the night, in my opinion. I think that was a better spot than the finishing spot that we'll get to later on.
Yeah, probably. But Edge gets up again on the count of 8. He then starts running through the crowd and out into the arena, where the concession stands are and whatnot. They get back into the crowd and they then start wrestling on the stage. Edge hits Cena in the head with a chair whilst he's lying on the stage on the metal grates or whatever. But Cena just gets up at 9, and then the Big Show comes down and he choke slams Cena into this massive light, and the like pyro and flames and the glass smashes and stuff like that. Big Show then leaves and Ed wins. And Cena doesn't get back up for the 10 count.
Yeah. So, what did you think of that match? Right.
I
know you just told me the spots, but what did you actually think?
I thought it was good. I definitely started to enjoy it more when they sort of got out the ring and after.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. I know that we were saying earlier with the Hardys match that there was a bit of in-ring wrestling first, and then they gave it more hardcore, which is I suppose what they did here. But I always find.
I feel like going back to the Hardy match, though, you expect it with that, whereas you don't as much with Cena.
That's true, but I find with I find with
last man standing matches.
With last man standing matches, if there's a lot of 10 counts, lots of counts off boring moves, it gets a bit slow. Because you're like, well, I'm still going to get up. It was just an AA, how people kick out an AA sort of thing. And that's but when it starts getting a bit more intense, you're like, ooh, they might not get up here. But I feel like it definitely got to that towards the end, so I did enjoy that. And overall, I actually really enjoyed this match, especially a lot more towards the end.
Yeah, I would say I enjoyed the last 5 minutes the most. Obviously, that is when it picks up, so that's probably when you're meant to. But so, favourite spots of mine was obviously the spot of the night was the AA into the crowd. Cena did hit a bulldog onto that equipment things, when they're running down there.
Oh yeah, they did.
So Cena's running down like the steps in the crowd, and he runs under the bulldog onto Edge, which was
equipment cases or something.
Yeah, equipment cases are probably I like the concerto that Edge did on top of the stage. Yeah. That was Edge becoming the world champion again. Shall Gaspar and Christian come down to help Cena out of the light? And then later on, CM Punk comes down to help as well.
I always wonder how they do those moves safely, like throwing something into a massive
when Big Show picks Cena up, you can see Cena's like looking behind him.
Well, yeah, I know, but
no, I mean like he's probably thinking, shit, like that dropped me sooner than you meant.
No, I know, but I just think there's glass because it's like shatters. There's obviously flames and there's fireworks. Like it's I know it's obviously all tested and that, but it always makes me like cringe. Like how can they ensure that's definitely 100% safe?
Yeah. So just going back to the legacy match, earlier on we said about long term booking. Well, just a few years later, obviously, Randy Orton's friends with Triple H in the Authority and stuff. It's just a bit like, how could you go through all this and then Triple H want him to be his face of the company? Do you know what I mean? I get it. It's all scripted,
but I think you can say the same about when the Shield broke up and they go back together.
Yeah, I get that. You could say about a lot of things. I don't know. This really annoyed me more though because this was meant to be such a personal rivalry that Randy Orton had RKO'd Stephanie McMahon and kissed her and DDT'd her and punted Shane McMahon in the skull and Vince McMahon in the skull, and then it's just like 5 years later, all is forgotten and they're all on the same team. And do you know what I mean? Like if someone did that to you, I don't think in 5 years I could be like, that's okay. You could be the face of the Man Games.
Well, we'll see.
What, you want someone to?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just
because I can arrange that.
You wouldn't.
So yeah, high points from the match for me personally is the Christian Jack Swagger match. If I recommended one match for you on the show, it would be that, just because.
Second that, absolutely.
The in-ring work of it was really good. Christian is really good. Jack Swagger was really good in the match also. He obviously now he's with AEW, and I think he's getting more of a chance to be himself in AEW, whereas here he's got that awful music, and I don't know. I feel like here there was just something missing, whereas now he's in AEW, which at first when he came to AEW I was a bit like, like on that debut episode they have Jack Swagger turning up as Jake Hager. Is this really going to be good? But I feel like he has been better than he was in WWE and AEW already. I feel like he's shown a bit of comedy as well.
Yeah.
When Chris Jericho had to apologise, and every time, so Chris Jericho, I don't know if you saw this, but Chris Jericho was reading his apology letter, but every time he had to say sorry, he would give the microphone to Jake Hager, and Jake Hager would actually say sorry.
I do remember this.
So yeah, that was really funny. And then just a couple of weeks ago, he read a poem, and at the end of the poem, he was just getting more angry and was saying how he was gonna, crush people pretty much. That was pretty good. And also, just thinking of the saying about Cali being like a sex fiend, Jake Hager and Dustin Rhodes had a match at AEW Revolution. Was it Revolution or Resolution? It's one of them. And Dustin Rhodes kisses Jake Hager's wife at ringside, and that was a bit like, can you really do that in like 2020?
Yeah. Do you want to see that?
Yeah, it's kind of rape, really, isn't it? Like, you're kissing someone without their consent. It's kind of rape. I'm not calling Dustin Rhodes a rapist.
You be very careful what you say there.
I know.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's
like I get it's all scripted and things like that, obviously, but
it is very.
It's a bit of a weird thing to do in 2000.
Yeah.
In 2020.
It's not something that we've. Not something that gets over these days, is it?
And I know people are very sensitive out there, and just because we say one bad thing about a wrestler doesn't mean to say we do not like that wrestler. It's just that at the end of the day, they're just doing what they get told to do.
Yeah, that's true. They don't always do stuff that they agree with, but unfortunately that's their job sometimes. So yeah, I agree with you. Match of the night was definitely Christian and Swagger. Both looked fantastic, I thought. Both came out looking great. Least favourite match of the night was Kane and CM Punk.
Yeah, I think my least favourite match of the card would be, because I'm not counting Santina and Beth Phoenix.
Yes, I didn't. That's not a match. Yeah. That was a segment, and that's least favourite segment.
Yeah, I think I'd say the 6-man tag. I just found it really boring. I didn't like the finish. I don't know. I didn't like looking back now. Obviously, when I watched this 10 years ago, I didn't have as much wrestling knowledge as I have now, obviously. And I don't know, with a returning Batista's first pay per view match, and then gets worked over for the beginning. It just I don't know. Felt like they missed an opportunity there. Really, the crowd just wanted to see Batista again, and throw out a load of Batista bombs and spine busters and things, and
drop the ball.
Yeah, surely that's why you've got Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase on the team of Randy Orton. Do you know what I mean? They can take the bumps and the stars, don't have to.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I kind of feel like they missed something there, really. So after this, I think that was Steamboat's last match. I don't remember him having another match after that. Jeff Hardy went on to face Edge for the championship at Extreme Rules 2 months later in a ladder match. I can't actually remember what happens with Santino Marella and Beth Phoenix. I'm not really that bothered to think about it anyway. So as I said, this was Batista's return after being off for 4 months. So 2 months later at Extreme Rules, he has a match with Randy Orton in a steel cage where he wins the WWE Championship and gets injured in that match also.
Oh, really?
So that was a bit of a bad run for him. So yeah, that was just a little recap of what happens, later down the line after this pay-per-view. So yeah, that was it. That was us looking at Backlash 2009. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to us talk about it. Once again, I'll say for the last time, Christian vs Jack Swagger, in my opinion, best match on the card. So yeah, if you watch one thing from today, I'll take away one thing from today. Try and watch that. It is only an 11-minute match, so make sure you check that out. Also, check out the other content on the channel. We have Fun with Figures episodes going up every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have the watch along of the Best of Brody Lee in ZZW going up every Saturday. Obviously, this podcast goes up every Sunday. And the 2K20 content goes up every day, but there is a Raw Universe mode that goes up on a Monday. SmackDown goes up on a Tuesday. NXT goes up on a Wednesday. AEW goes up on a Thursday, and finally WCW goes up on a Friday. Now we do pay-per-views as well, but they just go up as of when we get the time. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave it a like. Let us know in the comments what you thought. If you agreed with what we said, please be nice in the comments also. There's a lot of negativity out there in the world, and we don't need this on our channel.
Absolutely, yeah. Keep positive, guys. Let's be kind. You can put your opinion across without having to make it nasty.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. You're saying you don't need to be nasty about it. You see a lot of things on social media that's not. Yeah. So yeah, be friendly in the comments. This is a husband and wife doing a podcast, so we don't need people testing our relationship. So yeah, once again, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop us a comment. Thank you for listening today.
Thanks, guys.
That was all from The Man Games.